All right, so I think we are live now. Welcome everyone to Self Love Sunday. It is such an honor to be here as usual. Let me open this up real quick. Oh, there we go. If you guys want to share, for those of you that are joining on YouTube, please go ahead and post. Let me go ahead and share this. There we go. Excellent. All right, so how's everybody doing? I hope you guys have had an incredible week. What an eventful, energetic couple of months that we've had. And I think a lot of you are going through some tremendous growth, some tremendous realizations of some changes that need to be happening in life. So today I want to talk about this element of changes. And also I've had several questions about the concept of refining the concept of desire. And what does that mean exactly? So a lot of people are transitioning in their life, coming into more of their purpose, more of refining what they're here to do, what they're actually here to do in this world. And there's a connection, there's a very profound connection between the things that truly bring us profound joy, that bring us love, that fill you with love, that fill you with joy, that is actually at the core of the purpose that you're here to share with this world, with the gifts. Your gifts are linked to those things that bring you so much love and joy. And essentially, you can access those gifts and you can access that core information by coming in close to yourself, sitting with yourself, and uncovering the layers of those true desires. So, and I want to clarify when we talk about desire, we're not talking about the socially engineered desire, because we have a very kind of confused concept of what our desire is. And for a lot of us, what we desire is based on things that we've seen in shows and films, things that we are watching in social media, and a lot of the things that are pulling us into becoming a false identity or a false self or a facade or a face. It is cosmetic, it is manufactured, it is constructed, it is material, it is the physical. And anything that pulls you towards those kinds of roundabout ways to access what you really want is actually a betrayal of your core true desire. And so this is where we get confused. We actually create roundabout ways to fulfill deep needs that we might be having. And, we see this in everyday life. For example, the need for love, the need for companionship, the need for connection, the need for community, which is such a big topic for a lot of people, the need for being seen or acknowledged, or in any of these deep needs that are needed, are actually the soul's desire to reconnect with its source, okay, and to become one again with that unification of the all. But as humans in this physical realm, we are here to experience through the physical and to manifest that desire through the physical as we rediscover and remember the innate connection that we have to the divine. So anytime that we are kind of confused between these desires, and we begin to notice that the way that we are accessing this state of peace, this state of calm, this state of connection, this state of truth is a roundabout way. So for example, we look for external relationships in order to feel loved and needed. When in fact that love and that need is really is your need for your own self attention, your own self acknowledgement, your own self connection. And a lot of these deep desires are rooted in our childhood, in where we have not met, or our parents or our needs have never been met as children. So we strive our entire life through our personality, which is designed as a defense mechanism in order to create this facade, in order to receive what we think we, in the way that we think we're supposed to get it. These are very deep programmed ways of being that we learn as children, and usually they're adopted from our parents. The way that our parents have carried out their desires, try to fulfill their needs and their desires, are things that have really, they have strived to grab those things in these roundabout ways. And the reason why we try to find them in these odd ways, we try to find something that will supply that for us, is because in our society, desire is something that is seen as taboo. It's seen as something, through the inception of religion and these concepts of sin and shame that have been put into our society, we have been very separate from what is natural. Anytime that what is natural, what is an innate emergence of our pure divine creative expression, is the manipulation of humanity, because humanity is this consciousness, this pure creation that cannot be controlled or suppressed. And the suppression of that is something that is easy to control. So if you create parameters of what is right and what is wrong, we're going to be constantly doubting ourselves. We're going to be constantly doubting our true needs, our true expressions, our true desires, and everything in our society, through societal norms, through concepts of what family should be, concepts of what relationships should be, concepts of what it means to be spiritual. We kind of control each other, and we limit each other's pure raw expression because we're afraid. We're afraid of that pure creativity. We're afraid of not being able to control. And in our own selves, we're afraid of not being able to control that in ourselves, because a lot of times when we pursue these things, we become something very expansive, very creative. And so I want to mention that the pursuit of that desire will always result in some level of suffering, because we are managing these kinds of contrasts in our world. Okay, and that's something that we need to understand. And the suffering that comes from these pursuits of these desires is because we become attached. And so the key thing in this process of becoming this whole creative entity of pure divine creation is that we move in meeting the core needs. Usually it won't cause suffering if you understand what are the core fundamental desire that you have. Okay, usually when the desire becomes externalized, this is where we start having a lot of difficulty in attaching to things. And we need to learn what is lost, what is the birth of these desires, the manifestation of them, the enjoying of them, the having of them, and of course the leaving of them, because this is a universe of evolution. And in this universe, everything is cyclical, everything is moving. So we have to learn that while we do have these desires, that we also learn how to evolve with them and to move fluidly through them. Anytime that we try to constrict or block or restrain the things that are the core desires, we cause ourselves a lot of harm, and essentially our soul becomes contracted and blocked. And the energetic field, the way that looks like, is tremendously contracted. And this is usually where people have a lot of their back chakras become really stagnant, really heavy, not moving, not fluidly moving that life force. And this is because the back of the body represents the divine feminine, the creation. Okay, so anytime we're talking about the divine feminine, we're talking about creation energy, sexual energy, the ability to receive and to exchange with the world in a balanced manner. Okay, so this is really important. And in the process of the suppression of that, the body becomes ill, obviously. We manifest aches and pains in the body, contraction in the body. And most importantly, your soul starts to feel very confused, and we go into this internal war with ourselves. That internal war that we have with ourselves is essentially a very devastating state for your organism, because even your organs are not able to move life force fluidly. So people that exist in constant states of anxiety and fear of who they truly are, of their true expression, have a lot of digestive issues, stomach issues. We talked about this. And essentially, the entire energetic structure becomes completely contracted from that perspective. For women, when we have, and so for men also, but our sexual organs become tremendously impacted. And this is really important because the health of your sexual organs actually dictates how you are managing this exchange energy, okay? Because the sexual organ is the throat and also your sexual organs, okay? So it's one system here, and the unification point is in the heart center, okay? The management of your emotions as the foundation in your solar plexus, and the heart center as the alchemization into a refined, highest vibrational frequency of those desires, which means that you fluidly allow. See, this is another concept that's important in this topic. When we contract energy, it becomes very slow and heavy. It doesn't move through the body. But when we allow energy to flow through, whatever it is, whether it's your emotions, whether it's your fears, whether it's, whatever limiting beliefs are, if you don't allow yourself to acknowledge and allow those emotions to emerge, what happens is that the energy becomes contracted and eventually crystallized. And there's many layers of that as it moves from a thought form into the manifestation of the physical. Okay, so that process, when it goes from a thought form to the manifestation of the physical, can take actually many years, or it can be, quite instant, depending on how deep you allow yourself to drop that frequency, how quickly you allow yourself to drop into the frequency of that. And usually, even though it can be an instant drop, these are coming from very, very deep subconscious belief systems that you've held for generations in your bloodline. Okay, so most of the contraction energy that we have around these core expressions, these innate divine expressions that come through you, are things that we've been battling for many generations. And if you look back in your bloodline, you begin to see the patterns of how this energy has been contracted for such a long time. How many of our, family members have been stagnant in that element of creation. And how this manifests for women and men, as I was just saying, is a lot of times it has to do with our creative energy. Bringing birth to a child, for example, we have problems with the uterus. We have problems with menstruation cycles for women, and for men, they end up having prostate situations, cancers, complications, pains, all kinds of situations that block their ability to have a divine expression of love exchange. So, as I mentioned many times in my presentations, how we manage sexual energy in our society is actually, the more that we learn as a human race how to utilize these sexual creative life forces that run through us, such as these desires that we have. A lot of them have been rooted in shame and guilt. And shame and guilt is one of the most paralyzing emotions for man, because the structure, if you were to see the geometric structure of shame and guilt, it literally functions like a web that contracts and locks in the expansion of many of your chakra bodies. Okay, so the body that is ridden with shame will deplete itself. Okay, so we're looking at things like cancers, we're looking at things like autoimmune, especially autoimmune diseases, eating disorders, because the body, anything that has to do with exchanging your life force, it will affect those mechanisms organically in the body. So what happens is that the human body begins to, block itself. So the alchemization of this process of coming into pure creation, to coming into following your purpose, is understanding what are your core desires. Now, when we address the desires such as love, desire for safety, the desire for being seen or being heard, these kinds of core fundamental desires that are innate to the human, these are things that we have to be proactively meeting and acknowledging throughout the day. And when we don't meet and acknowledge those core desires, the human tries to externalize that need by getting things that they believe are going to provide that, satiate that need. And this is where most people end up in a lot of trouble. Okay. So this is why the path of harmony and divine creation is in alignment with presence, because the more that you practice presence, the more that you are present here with yourself, connecting, listening to the self, this is where you'll be able to catch those little tiny emergence of little desires and proactively live your life in a way that you are meeting and allowing creation. Because when you meet those core desires, this is where your pure creation emerges from. Because it's almost as if we are a human race that is starved from these very fundamental basic needs. And the moment that the human begins to satiate those basic needs, now the human can focus their energy biochemically, bioelectrically in creating, okay? Because that is actually the unification of our divine feminine and masculine that allows the human to create. So if we were to look at a multidimensional body, just bear with me, guys. I'm going to open a couple slides that I want to share with you. And thank you so much for joining. Let me catch some of these questions here in the chat. Hey everyone, so great to see everyone here. Nelly, Shane, Andres, so great to see you. Antonio, James, Brad, Marilena, Raul, great to see you guys. Saludos de Chile, wonderful from Chile. Very good. Forgive yourself, yes. Jason, welcome. Precious Jewel says, question, what is your view on birth control? Does it affect us on our ascension? Thank you, Princess Josie. Thank you, Precious, so much for being here. So I think the concept of birth control is something that you need to really look within yourself to see if you align with it, first and foremost. From the spiritual perspective, I stopped taking birth control very early because of my experiences with interdimensional contact. And because, well, let me put it this way. Let me answer this question. Going through the hybridization program, and it's not a program, going through the experience of the hybridization program allowed me to understand the importance of our DNA, okay? And it helped me understand the biophysical result of any kind of chemicals that we put into the body that imbalance the body in a way. And especially things like birth control and some pharmaceuticals that, you know, it's important for you to go to the doctor and listen to whatever is needed to maintain your body in harmony, especially when we're so disconnected from our organism. A lot of us are deeply disconnected from our emotions. And one exact result of the disconnect from your emotions is illness in the body, okay? So always having some kind of illness in the body, disconnect. Every time we avoid or resist our emotional information, which is the information of how we're exchanging with the world outside of us, we are completely contracting the body, and that causes illnesses. So if you're deeply disconnected from your emotions, then you need to have support, and you know, some medicines can really help with that, okay? So that being said, I need to put that as a disclaimer, because none of these things are general. It really depends on every human and their own personal connection with themselves. We have the absolute ability to heal, to regenerate, to restore our body, to direct our body, to cultivate these natural organic systems in our body when we connect with our body, when we listen, when we, and the connection that I'm talking about is to sit in the stillness and to really observe the functions of your body and to know yourself things that trigger contraction, things that trigger blockages in your system, your digestive system, your emotional system, lungs, when you get flus, why you get flus. What I have learned through this experience and working with people over the years is that even flus, even these illnesses, are not things that are actually necessarily, we're not at the mercy of our environment. We participate tremendously in the contraction of flus, of viruses, of these things in our physical body, because we create an environment for it. And I know for a fact that when you hold your vibrational frequency in a certain way, these kinds of things will not be contracted in the body. This is why I'm so passionate, I guess you can say, about teaching about your energetic field, because the connection between your emotions and your energy body are one. And this is the creation, the laws of your body. So when it comes to contraceptives, when I began to, I have been extremely intuitive since I was a child, extremely intuitive, extremely connecting, visions, seeing spirit, souls, and everything. After my contact experience at the age of 16, I became highly sensitive to medications and to contraceptives and things like this. Highly sensitive, highly sensitive. So for a very long time, I could not take any of those things. I would have reactions. It would really mess up my system. It would either create allergic reactions, or it would create some kind of reactions that were really unnecessary. And I found that it brought more imbalance to my body. So I think that you need to notice, and also with my deep understanding of what sex is, okay, in terms of sex, I believe that there is a more divine, connected way to manage these kinds of unions, okay? And when a human is aligned within themselves spiritually, and when they're aligned with the partner that they're with, conception of life is something that these two are intentionally co-creating, okay? And these agreements go very deep. So this is another thing that we have to understand, that when you're not working with your karmic contracts, or when you're not aware of what drives you, as I was just talking about desire, usually it results in karmic cycles that are being repeated, okay? So to answer your question more directly, what I feel is that chemicals can really affect the balance of your body. Especially with contraceptives, it's not just affecting your reproductive system. It's affecting the entire body, because the entire body is a holographic system. Okay, so the more connected you become to yourself, the more you follow your intuition in how you are uniting with another, and the more you are connected as a woman to your physical body. So women's in ancient history that have become oracles, that are united with their divine essence, they always choose and intend when they conceive, and they are very connected to their cycle, and they can manage that. But in our society today, to cultivate that, it's a little more difficult, because we are very disconnected from nature. We're disconnected from ourselves. We're disconnected from our partners. A lot of us are existing in survival. So if you have that severe level of disconnect, yeah, cultivate connection, cultivate connection, and cultivate a different kind of lifestyle, because the conception of children is something that should be managed in a way that comes from the balance of the internal, spiritual, emotional, and physical self. And yeah, we have contractual agreements for the children that we bring into this world. So there is no such thing as accidental births. There's no such thing as miscarriages that aren't divinely designed. Every single soul is here to share and participate in incredible lessons for the journey. So I think it depends. I personally do not use them. And what I have seen is that they deconstruct the DNA, the reproductive DNA. And also it affects many parts of the brain. There was research that was just published recently about how the brain is shrinking in women that are taking contraceptives, okay? So there, it affects many, many parts of the brain, of the body. And anything that is artificial, that is kind of directing these natural cycles that we as humans should be, as women, should be very connected to. And also men should be very connected to their woman's menstrual cycle. They should be very aware and very mindful of that. You know, this is coming back to the connections of our natural selves. And there's no excuse, even in our busy worlds, we should redirect our attention to living in that connectedness, because that is the true way of creating harmony and health in this planet, because it's about conscious co-creation. Okay. Yeah, so that is my answer on that. Let me see another question. Brett Shapiro, I really respect your work. You appear to have a derogatory view of disconnectedness. Does solely focusing on unity contradict source's desire to experience fractal consciousness? No. So about disconnectedness, here's the thing, Brett. When we are disconnected from ourselves, we are lost, okay? We are confused, we are experiencing. The whole purpose of being born in this physical vessel is to experience separation temporarily. So your entire life is an expression of separation, and you are a fractal of infinite potential, okay? So, hold on, let me come back to your question to make sure I can answer this first question. Yeah, so actually the only way to even experience unity to begin with is by being aware of where we are separate. Okay, so actually those two, they're never separate. They're never separate. To understand, to be able to understand the all, to be able to see yourself as the all, you have to understand all of your fractals within yourself. So that's the thing. The more that we divide ourselves, separate, contract ourselves, resist parts of ourselves, it's very difficult for you to even see unity consciousness, okay? So it goes hand in hand. And the fractal nature actually means the whole in one, okay? The whole, it's one whole. So there is no separation per se. It's actually rediscovering and recognizing that you are the whole in each of those fractal parts of you. And that's actually the point of the reunification of ourselves, okay? Charles, hey, Charles says, what we want in life is part of our desire, giving us direction. What we want in life is part of our desire, giving us direction to move forward in life. Can you give discernment about growing spiritually, of letting go of desires? So the desires that we want to address are the ones that are socially engineered, the ones that we are creating in order to get the true desire, okay? So a lot of the times what we desire, for example, as I mentioned in the example of relationship, which is the easiest and most common, that we desire to have a partner because we desire acknowledgement, okay? And so in order to feel acknowledged, because we've never felt acknowledged in life or as a child, we pursue relationship after relationship, or we pursue a career that makes us feel that we have filled that need, okay? That is a roundabout way to fulfill a need, and that will always result in suffering, because you will never meet that need through these roundabout ways, okay? So the relationship, the partnership will not ever be able to fulfill that deep, true desire of acknowledgement, for example. And in fact, what it'll do is that as through resonance, you will find a partner that is also needing that same. Remember that your lacks are what attract you to the other, okay? So whatever you believe is lacking in you or as you will be the direct resonance energy that will attract you to the like. And therefore, it will magnify those relationships. So, you know, whatever it might look like. And I see this all the time, every single day in my sessions. People have these seemingly amazing relationships, but when you get to the core of what is missing, they both miss the same thing, and they both don't know how to get it. They both try to so desperately get it from each other or from outside sources, and then this falls apart. So the thing is, pay attention to your true desires. Get to know what is driving your actions, your thoughts, your words, your intentions, this persona that we've created, the personality that we've created. What is it trying to get? Okay. And if you don't know what it's trying to get, if you're confused about that, then we're disconnected from our true desire. If you begin to observe what drives you in your life, and if you begin to notice that what drives you is the need to satiate these core fundamental desires that you have within you, then these need to be addressed. These need to be met. So if we're going to talk about it from it's all one unified thing. Life is spirituality. Okay. So in order to meet these needs, we have to learn what do I need in order to feel acknowledged? Okay, it's us acknowledging ourselves. We have to cultivate that reconnection with ourselves, acknowledge our needs, acknowledge our emotions, and then look at what desire emerges from there, because it's going to be something more creative. And this is where people become of service to the world. When they meet those core fundamental needs, their life is not this wild goose chase to try to meet these needs. And they get distracted from their true gifts. That's why they find themselves in 20-year-long careers, marriages, family situations that are very far away from their purpose and far away from their gifts. The more we meet these needs, the more our gifts come online. Okay, so let's say you need love. You weren't loved as a child. You provide yourself with love. You become self-love. Your actions are congruent with your thoughts, your emotions. You listen to what it needs. The body is thirsty right now. Drink water. I need to rest. You rest. I need to have more discipline in my life, more balance, more meditation, more connection. You do that. You address your trauma. What is at the bottom of that is the core essence. This core essence is pure creation. Okay, and that pure creation is a mechanism of manifestation. This is the 0 point. As always, we come back to the 0 point. The 0 point is cultivated by meeting those needs. And your gifts now reveal themselves to you. Because through the process of filling those deep, deep needs is your intuition. It is your ability to discern with clarity relationships, situations that are in alignment with you or not. And it allows you to choose from your whole self, because most of us, we're just operating from the lack, from the need that has not been met, and the lack. That's where our vision is. That's why our vision becomes very myopic. And so does our life intention. Okay. So the more we go deep into that satiate those deep needs, those desires, now emerges. The things, the activities that fill you with love, that fill you with joy, that fill you with life, that fill you with vitality. Okay, those are the things that are where your gifts are. And the more that we focus on working on those, this is where our gifts come from. Our true, our intuitions, our healing abilities, our creativity, our expressions. Yeah. Thank you so much for your questions. All right, so let me come here in the chat in the Zoom. Welcome everybody in the Zoom. So great to see you guys. Can we heal emotional imbalances or trauma with certain geometry and frequency music? I'm sure that it can assist, but really, truly, you are the geometry and you are the frequency. So you need to heal and address the emotional imbalances as a matter of sitting with those emotions and understanding the layers that you're holding, releasing and acknowledging all of those. And it's very much an inside job. We need to do the alchemy work, the shadow work, to address those emotions. Okay, and what is a result of the addressing the emotions is the shifting of your geometry. It's the shifting of your geometry. It's the transformation of your organism into a harmonious balance. I mentioned many times, we have many geometrical shapes that our human body participates in taking form. And the way that our human body develops these shapes is through the rebalancing of our perception of divine, feminine, and masculine creative energies. So the more that we become a frequency, depending on the emotions that you're most running in your body, depending on how you are functioning, your chakra body, the more that we cultivate harmony with this multidimensional body, you're shifting your frequency. Every single shape that the human takes is essentially following the pathways of frequency, okay, that you're holding in the body. And the shape of your overall system is changing. The more open it becomes to source energies, and the more we are redirecting the depleting, contracting emotional frequencies out of the body. Okay, so remember that contractive emotions sustained in the body for a long amount of time, they change your geometric form into disharmony, distortion, disorganization. Okay, so the body feels really disconnected. The body feels leaking of energy, exhausted all the time, physical issues, okay? So your emotional state will change the frequency that you're holding in the body. And this goes even deeper into your DNA, because the more that you come into harmony in your body, which means the more of a 0-point emotional state you are holding, the more neutral state of non-judgmental observation from which bliss and joy emerges. This true bliss and this true joy is actually what creates harmony in the symmetry of your organism. And your DNA, even itself, will be able to express itself. The coiling of your DNA begins to express itself in a more symmetrical, in a more expansive, expressive manner. This is the activation of DNA. When the human begins to bring their body into harmony, releasing all the blockages that are in the physical body through thought forms that are stagnant, the repetition of low frequency emotions, the DNA begins to express itself in a way that is more productive for the body. It means your immune system is aligned. Your immune system is, completely on board, helping you balance and maintain health in your body. It means that we have intuition. We have a developed, active intuition. It means that we are deeply connected with the physical body. You know what your body needs, and you provide it to your body. Therefore, your body comes into more harmony. It means that our organs are functioning collaboratively. Okay, so all the organs in the body are aware. This is all based on emotional health, and they are functioning in a balanced way. When the organs begin to go into war with themselves, we have complications. So the way that we create symmetry inside of the body is through the rebalancing and the proper flow of life force as it's redirected through the organs in the body. This is how you sustain a productive emotional state that creates this health for the body. Okay, so and we are the geometry. Okay, so just looking at a geometric shape or a form is not going to bring you into this geometric structure. Or just being in the presence of that geometry is not going to bring you into that. This is the geometry of your body is the alchemization, it's a product of alchemy. When we close, because we're holding on to low frequency emotions in the body, we close our direct connection to source. We always seek external knowledge. We always seek external stimulation for the divine nature. When we begin to redirect that attention to the internal, to the heart, through the heart, through unconditional self-love, that is when you begin to activate the sacred geometry in your body. And this is also where you begin to access higher bands of frequency in the body emotionally that allow you to come into an expanded state. This is the activation of your DNA. This is where your memory comes online. And the symmetry in the body begins to move in a way that creates harmony. Okay? So can it help us heal? What helps you heal is the internal work that you're doing. Okay? The addressing of those core emotions. So thank you so much. But let me know if I can expand on that, or if there's anything else I missed, Sahala. Because the thing with frequency music is that, for example, in sound baths, sound baths can be really great for helping you releasing heavy trauma in the body. But the fact of the matter is that that will be temporary unless in that session you're actually doing some actual deprogramming of these core belief systems and you're addressing those core belief systems. Okay, so this is why true transformation, there is a gorgeous hawk flying outside my window right now. That's so gorgeous. I'm so connected to hawks, guys. I have a very profound divine connection with hawks. Okay, just wanted to share that with you. But essentially, and here's another thing about Hertz. And I think I talked about frequency medicine before, but we can talk a little deeper about it at some point. The frequencies, I will tell you that destructive frequency music will bring your body out of alignment. Okay, so the music that you're listening to is very important to your subconscious and subliminal messages. When we are holding and listening to music that is really destructive and distortive to your field, you might not realize it, but your body is in contraction. You might think that it's normal, you're enjoying the music, but it requires self-awareness for you to realize how your body is being affected by the music, okay? So it can heal us, but the true thing is that if you do the shadow work, you will be able to discern the musics that are more in alignment with you. It always comes down to the work, guys. Okay? And through the frequencies and the scales of the music, we can enhance elements of ourselves, but always from the internal connection. Okay? Yeah, we might have to talk more about that. I love your question, Sahala. Thank you. Elaine says, what about abortions? Yeah, so by participating in the hybridization experiences and understanding what the soul is, the soul being this divine force of co-creation, what I've understood about the creation of life, every single soul that is going through the inception process, okay, every soul that becomes inseminated has a divine purpose, even if it's short-lived, even if it is going through this abortion, okay? Because actually, you've already participated in creating a soul, and that is an energy. Energy never eliminates. Energy never eliminates. It doesn't dissolve, it doesn't disappear, it only transforms. So actually, what I have noticed is that the soul that is created at that moment of inception, it exists. And it's a combination of two lineages that have participated in creating that little essence. It's an energy. It's an energy. And there's a little window. The moment that there's an inception, it's a snapshot of the universe frozen in an energetic form. This is infinite amounts of information that are available through the emergence of this energy that was created by the unification of the parents. This system, this energy system that is generated, is a higher octave frequency than both of these bloodlines. Okay? And the higher octave frequency of both of these bloodlines that is emerging always has some kind of purpose. When a higher octave exists of two bloodlines, it elevates the bloodline for both of them. And you'll notice the families will go through, very emotional, tumultuous times. All of those experiences through the abortion process, spiritually and emotionally, for both families, are lessons that have to do with the contraction of creative life force in both those bloodlines. Okay, so karma is just cause and effect. It doesn't mean that something is either good or bad. Okay, so when some people might look at an abortion as a karma, but it's a cause and effect is what that means. And it's a catalyst. If you were to look at this scenario of these three people, the mother, the father, and the child that is aborted energetically, it is a catalyst for transformation for both of them. And it affects the field of both of them. There is a memory within the field of both of these participants that is learning through that experience. Okay, so even in the process of abortions, there is a divine lesson. I don't believe in this right or wrong. The mother, the mother suffers physically a lot from those abortions, and especially emotionally. Okay, because the lesson is really for her to heal her relationship with creation. She needs to heal the relationship with her own creation. And it could be for many reasons, okay? But this is a very deep topic that I don't want to just answer loosely, because it deals very deep into the lessons that the father needs and the lessons that the mother needs. And there's many spiritual and emotional implications, but all of them are meant for the ascension of each one of them. The energy that's created, even in the abortion, even though the physical body is eliminated, the essence still exists. That soul still exists. Okay, so I have a lot of mothers that have connected with their aborted children. The souls of those essences are still existing in other timelines, not in our dimension, not in our timeline. They're existing in other timelines, and this is why creation is so important. If you don't understand why, or your intention is behind your creation, that still exists. It doesn't disappear. Okay, so an entire timeline is created from that insemination. Susie says, given the amount of STDs, most people should be using condoms unless you are in for sure committed relationship. Even Lyme can be transmitted and lay dormant, but still infect others. It worked in that field for years, just passing on the info. Elaine Stokes says, what if you squandered gifts and no longer in timeline due to physical limitations now? So ascension, we are always following ascension. We are always elevating to a higher octave, whether you believe it or not. Okay, because there's really no such thing as squandering of gifts. Okay, your gifts are innate to you, and you will always have access to those gifts if you cultivate that reconnection of that frequency to them. Okay, but even though this has happened, I guarantee, Elaine, that whether you're talking about yourself or someone else, you have learned a lot of other very important things through this process. And that is ascension, okay? Now, the integration of these lessons into your life will help other gifts emerge. So I think the thing is to be awake enough to recognize what gifts are available to you at this time, and listen to the calling that is coming through, the messages, the directives that are coming through to bring you into your next step for the work that you're supposed to be doing here. But yeah, I think the emotions of, and especially if you have physical limitations, there are some emotional lessons that have to be looked at there. If most gifts are never hindered by physical limitations. Okay, the true gifts are usually non-physical, and they can be channeled through the physical body in many different ways. Okay, so our physical limitations, our illnesses should never get in the way of carrying these out. If we have that strong belief, we have to address why we have that belief. Okay, because there's many ways of our gifts to be presented to the world. How do we know we are ascending and transitioning into a higher frequency and dimension? What are some of the indicators? So the thing with this question is that I want to be very clear about understanding that there is no end goal. Okay, ascension is a spherical system. Time is a spherical system. There is no time. It's everything is simultaneous. Really, is what I'm trying to say here. So that being said, that the every experience that you have in life is an ascension for you. How you apply that and whether you recognize that is completely up to you. This is where free will takes place. You get to choose through your own free will how you get to apply the lessons, the experiences that you've had, how to integrate them into your life and how to utilize them. But the human that is more awake, more conscious, more aware of those things will exist in a more harmonious state. Okay, they will have harmony in the body. So there will be less effect of any illnesses or less pain in the body, more clarity, more access to love, the anchoring of the bliss state into this physical realm as a manifestation of their life, and their life, being a proactive manifestation of that. So, in my opinion, if you want to try to measure ascension, it's the state of the amount of harmony that you're able to embody. You're in harmony with yourself. You're in harmony with everything around you. If you cultivate peace in your life, that peace, that internal, deep, deep peace cannot be manufactured by any external thing. No external thing. It can only be, it's something that emerges from the internal. So if we are able to cultivate that deep peace and we are peaceful about the things that we're doing, the life that we're living, the relationships that we're having, the choices that we're making, if you are in peace with all these parts of you, you are essentially entering a state of pure creation. Okay, and to me, that is essentially the embodiment of this continual alchemy of ascension, because it's never ending. Okay. So health in your body, and also obviously from there, your intuition becomes refined and more activated. You become very connected. You are training your intuition, okay? You trust yourself. That's another very important one, that you trust yourself deeply, deeply and profoundly. Misha says, what happens when you just don't want to do any more work or share your gift with others anymore? Is it wrong to just want to exist for yourself and be surrounded by nature? I think a lot of people are feeling this way right now. And I think that there is a wound, a collective wound that we are experiencing. And it is kind of a spiritual doubt, a profound doubt, and mistrust. And this has to be kind of addressed, hopefully. There's an invitation for you to address that before the end of this year. And it always happens at the end of this kind of year, this 8th year, which is a karmic year that addresses all the deep, heavy, heavy emotions. So when you begin to feel this feeling like, I don't really feel like, I want you to really get down to the core emotion. What's underneath there? What is the emotion that we're actually feeling that doesn't make us feel like we want to share the gifts or do those things? It's very important that you get to the core. And I've been hearing this, Misha, in my practice for the past 3 weeks, every day, at least once a day. At least once a day, somebody is feeling this way. Okay, so this is a collective trauma that we're all healing, that is emerging. We need to listen to the part that tells us to slow down, and we need to get very clear and refined with our limiting belief systems, because every time we go deep into the subconscious emotions of that place is a fear of our gifts. It's a fear of our abilities. It's a fear of failure. It's a fear of your true self. It's a fear of rejection, okay? A fear of not being loved. And I think this is a collective energy that we are healing. And so it's necessary that we get into those, because the result is learning how to meet those deep, deep, deep fears that we have around our gifts, around our potential, around our expansiveness, because we are moving into a higher octave collectively right now. When we enter into year 9, we're entering, and every day we're entering a new level, a new frequency of octave, okay? But collectively, this universe is entering a new octave of frequency. And the energies of this coming year are going to be very fast moving, which means high vibration, which means we want to align, as always. We want to come into alignment with these evolutionary cycles by being in the present moment and by being awake. Okay, the more we fall asleep, the more we're disconnected, and then things have to shock us into a higher frequency, which higher frequency means the frequency of the all. Okay, what we're doing is we're simply aligning with the natural ascension of the universe. The universe is moving in a spiral-like motion to a new octave every time. The humans are just adjusting and aligning. The more that we apply our free will of creation, the more that we come into the present moment, the more fluidly and less painful that alignment becomes. The more we resist, the more we have to have shocking experiences. Because remember, your organism is an entire system of energy. And so the more you block or you have stagnant energy or frequencies that are heavy, of course, it's going to be a painful process, okay? So right now we're going through this veil. The veil is lifting, okay? And we want to refine our frequency, which means we want to elevate more to the 0 point. To refine a frequency means that it becomes more fluid. And that also means higher vibrational frequency, higher bands of frequency, moving faster. Fluid means faster in the frequency language. So the faster we begin to move our energy body, the more we can move through this frequency evolution, okay? This will also help you access more gifts that are more abilities, more realizations. We need to expand our awareness of our gifts. We need to expand the realization of these abilities. Absolutely go into nature, because there are messages that are available to you. And that's something that I've been noticing a lot, is a profound call to go towards nature, to be in nature. And I'm receiving massive messages from trees, communicating with trees. Listen with your body, with your energetic body. Listen when you go into nature. Open yourself up to communication, because you will receive messages that you need. And I think the universe is asking us to come back to nature, to connect with nature again, because the Mother Earth is speaking. Mother Earth is speaking. Okay, Mother Earth is an organism of consciousness that is picking up like an antenna from this entire multiverse information of the ascension of the collective. And so when we connect with nature, when we connect with the sun, and this is another important thing, that the sun is actually providing a lot of information for us right now. I do sun connections. I don't want to call them rituals necessarily, but every day when the sun is setting, There is a profound connection. When you sit with the sun, when you're watching the sunset, open your energetic body, go into reading state to receive the messages that are coming through the sun, because the sun is the antenna of the universe, and it's also the plasmic field that is connected with our own plasma. Okay, so the connection between the sun and your plasma, your DNA also, is essentially communicating important information for you. And it will tell you exactly what needs to shift, what gentle information that will help you change in the way that you see yourself emotionally. Okay. So yeah, so a lot of you are feeling that. Yeah. So go to nature or go into meditation and connect. And it's about being. We need to cultivate the art of being. A lot of us are, and this is a very important time for you to do what you really love. So now that you're not working, now that you're not doing those things, go back into doing what you really love, because we need more of that love energy to permeate this system. Okay, we need to anchor. It means we need to cultivate more anchor through the body. Okay, and what does that anchor source more through the body? Okay, so remember that the more we open up the energetic field, well, let's look at this. The more you are distracted in the physical body, leaking your energy, okay, in survival, the less you are connecting with source. The more your ears, all your five senses are blocked, so you can't receive the subtle messages of source. Also, your heart is blocked. You cannot, your heart is not open, you cannot connect. So when you have these kinds of emotions, it means we need to open these gateways. And these open when we connect with nature, when we are aligning with nature. This is how these energy systems open. It's through the integration of the heart chakra that the green energy, that's why nature is green. That's why the color of plants and all the plants in this world, they're green. That's the color that the Mother Earth has chosen as her frequency. In order to create harmony and health and vitality. So that's why the heart chakra is the color green. Okay, so this heart, the emotion of unconditional love, green represents unconditional love and conditional creation, because that's what nature is. It is just harmonizing through natural flow of life and death. There's no contraction, there's no fear there. That alignment allows the human to open up their vessel, and higher bands of frequency can enter into the body. Okay, so when higher bands of frequency enter into the body, we're essentially we're bringing this powerful life force into the body. That's not. Hold on. Let me bring this guy here. Okay, so when the body is heavy with emotions and resistance, it means we have a lot of resistance. This is how life force is moving through the body. It's so thin, it's barely moving, and it's usually broken up. So this little yellow line, it's like broken up, which is a reflection of how your energetic field, your bubble around you, it's also had tears and holes all around you. Okay? When you begin to cultivate your energy body, which means you make your sphere around your body solid, and you're aware of that throughout your day, you're aware of your chakra bodies, it changes the way you hold frequency through your body. And essentially what happens is that this the energetic system can actually anchor higher bands of frequency through the body. Okay. So this is a very important process. How do we anchor more bands of frequency to the body? Hold on, let me see. Thank you. how do we anchor more source to the body? So the way that you anchor more source, this source frequency through the body, is that you clear the debris inside of your multidimensional body. Okay, so your body is a toroidal system. Okay, so when this toroidal system becomes blocked with all of these blockages and debris of emotional thought forms, so just imagine that, you know, your thought forms that you have, you know, it's like all these little thought forms: concerns, family, fears, anxieties, doubts, insecurities, you know, all of these little thought forms that are here, they actually permeate into the entire organism. And they are deeply linked in with your chakra system. Okay, they go into your nervous system, into your organs. So as you can see, it becomes a network of blockage through your energetic body. Okay, so as you start, this is tears. So the white spots are also holes in your field. They're holes in your field because the frequency of these thought forms have become crystallized to the point that these subtle energy bodies, these layers of your body, they oscillate at the frequency that is the highest frequency of that chakra. Okay, so what you're looking at here is only one chakra layer. You have like infinite of these layers, but we're primarily focusing on the 7 layers. So imagine 7 of these fields around your body, and they are both expanding and contracting all the time around you. Depending on what emotional state you're in, these layers of your body will expand and contract. When you are contracting and expanding in a certain vibrational frequency, let's say fear or anxiety, these thought forms are connected to many of your chakra bodies. Okay, so for example, let's say you have a fear of unworthiness. Okay, the heart chakra body is contracted in that case. And remember that this is a sphere, so you have front and back. The right side of your body is the masculine, the left side of the body is the feminine, the back of the body is the feminine, and the front of your body is the masculine. Okay, so let me see if I can try to make this understandable. The back of our body, being the feminine, is where we suppress subconscious. The feminine always represents the subconscious mind. The masculine represents this conscious, or what is embodied in the present. Okay? So when we store these belief systems, when we repeat them over and over again, they become crystallized in the body. And remember that these are showing up in your field to begin with as a projection of what's in your DNA. Your DNA, which is epigenetically your construct of belief systems that you've cultivated from the birth until the age of 7, are the core belief systems that manifest these. That's why doing this work early is really important, at an early age, alchemizing the trauma. And I've been working with a lot of children recently, which is one of the most incredible joys of my life. Children are so incredible in how they can alchemize through the DNA reprogramming, a lot of these programs. So when they begin to transmute these core belief systems, it opens up the field, okay? So what happens is that the body begins to gently open up the energy, and all this contraction of energy. This is something that should be done daily, guys. It's not just one-time work, you know, in one situation. This kind of work is done all the time, every day. This is energetic hygiene. So what happens is that we actually allow source to move through the body in a more expanded manner, okay? And that the opening of this source energy through the body essentially allows the human to begin to come into alignment. We receive more information. This is the 0 point. The 0 point is the 0 point of non-judgment, okay? All right, guys, let's get into the meditation. Let me see if I missed any more questions here. Wow, Sahala says so very true. Today I was sitting having coffee and saw a rainbow reflecting through the window, and the colors were very clear and different. I've never seen this before. Wow, that's beautiful. Nicholas says, recently I saw a gateway manifest itself. It was very beautiful. Excellent, guys. You guys have to trust what you see, and you have to continue cultivating your vision of the unseen world, because the unseen is actually what is most existent in this dimension. Okay, we are more non-physical than we are physical. Okay, let's get into the meditation, guys. Let's practice some of that energetic hygiene now. Go ahead and come into a meditative state. Go ahead and ground yourself down to the center of the earth. With every breath you take, as you allow yourself to come into a state of complete relaxation and calm, I'm going to visualize relaxing your body, releasing all the tension, being aware of your muscle system, releasing all the muscles. Go ahead and see the center of the earth. Ground yourself, connect down to the center of the earth with your grounding cord. Being aware that that grounding cord is connecting to your body, your center core of your body, your waist, your hips, your pelvic bone, your chest. And it's a cord, like a bodysuit, that connects and anchors into the center of the earth. Go ahead and visualize the bubble around your body, which is your energetic field. Let's tune in. Where do we have holes, tears, openings? Where is it difficult to see or visualize? If the whole body is difficult to visualize, use your imagination to visualize it. Your imagination is your tool for your intuition. So go ahead and visualize or imagine or sense or know or hear or taste, whichever one of your senses you use, a bubble around your body that is completely solid and whole and complete. You will immediately feel your body grounding. You will feel yourself slip deeper into your body, because most of you are out of your body usually. Those of you that are holding your breath, or those of you that are breathing quickly, allow yourself to regulate your breath, breathing down to the base of the spine. And we're going to do 3 of these deep breaths to help the breath regulate. To help the brain regulate its nervous system. To help silence the reptilian brain. Allow yourself to drop deeper into a meditative state of absolute stillness. Bring your body into stillness. Acknowledge any part of your body that doesn't want to be still, that is fighting the stillness. Acknowledge any strong emotions that are emerging in the body. Acknowledge any thoughts. And bring yourself back to observing the whole body. Go ahead and focus on the root chakra at the base of the spine. Shrink it down to the size of a dime. Your sacral, your solar. Expand your heart front and back. Expand your throat front and back. Expand your third eye front and back. Go up into your crown, activate your crown. Align your higher self into your body. Acknowledge your higher self. Align the higher self with your career, relationships, family, health, vitality, your spiritual work, your truth, and your purpose. From the center of the earth, go ahead and bring up a powerful wave of green cosmic energy that comes rushing up into the body. Clear the debris in your field. Go ahead and bring cosmic gold energy from source down to the crown of your head, combining with the green earth energy. Take 10% of this combination back down to the center of the earth. Take 80% of this combination up your spine from the crown of your head. Take the final 10%, bring it into the body, infusing into the pores, the flesh, the muscles, the pores, down to the cellular level of the body. Infuse your body with this cosmic and earth energy, aligning your organism with the 0 point. Using your third eye, go ahead and view your field, all the layers of your body, and begin clearing the debris. You can send it down through the vortex into the center of the earth or through the vortex going up from the crown of your head. Go ahead and clear your layers of your body. If something feels really sticky or doesn't want to leave from your body, use your imagination and use your crown chakra like a laser to blow it up, dissolve it, turn it to sand, turn it to water, turn it to vapor. And then you can visualize vacuuming it up. You can imagine particles dissolving, whatever imagination makes it easy for you to move these energetic blockages out of your space. This is a practice of self-trust, and it's also a practice of your third eye. It's a practice of your intuition, your connection to your own subtle energy bodies. This is a very important practice. So allow yourself to use your imagination. There's no wrong thing, silly thing, funny thing. It can be very funny. It doesn't matter. But allow yourself to move it through. Use whatever technique. And just know that your will is actually at your command. Whatever it is that you will to happen is happening in your energetic field. So the more aware you become of that reality, the more in control of your creation you become. And also the more mastery you have over this vessel, this body of yours. Okay? Because right now our body is being run by our unconscious state. So we are basically manipulated by external things, external stimulations, unconscious, subconscious belief systems. Now, this is the time that you regain that awareness, regain that consciousness. And it's not so much about control as it is about awareness. Also, you're going to learn how to feel blockages in your body, wherever you feel a void, wherever you feel heaviness, wherever you feel shadows, wherever, let's say, your emotional body feels strong emotions. Use your senses to begin to read your energetic field. For those of you that have followed this exercise, closing your first three chakras, you are in reading state right now. So your intuition is at its highest in this alignment. Just focus on clearing your bodies from all the debris, from all the blockages. Let's begin by observing the cords that we have. Go ahead and see a crowd of all the people that you've been in contact with, you've interacted with, that you want to cut cords with. Cutting cords doesn't mean that they leave our life or we're trying to eliminate them from our life. It means that we are neutralizing the information that we are sharing and exchanging. And we are using our free will and our mindfulness to be aware of imbalanced exchanges. Imbalanced exchanges that we have participated in creating with others. Go ahead and see all the people that you've been interacting with over the past week, month in front of you. Your kids, your partner, family, extended families, colleagues. Just observe the cords that you have with each one of them. They might be different sizes. They might feel like they're made out of different things. All of it's giving you informational information if you are aware and you can observe what it is and tune into it. It's not really necessary to do that. You can just simply clear that energy from your body. So as you observe the cords that you have, notice where in your body those cords are most connected to. That'll tell you where your chakra is most overactive, which one of your chakras are most overactive. Okay, so let's say you have a lot of cords connecting to your stomach or your abdomen area. It means that the majority of your perception is coming from your solar plexus chakra, which when it's imbalanced comes from anger and feelings of helplessness and overwhelm. And when it's imbalanced or in harmony or working productively, it's the balance of your emotional body and your empowerment, your personal power. Okay, so just observe, and you might get kind of some ideas of what are the main themes that you're sharing with others around you. And the same with the other chakras in the body. Depending on which organs or part of your body this cord is connecting to, it will be connected with that main energy source, which is the chakra of that localized area. So wherever you have more of your cords, this will tell you which one of your chakras is most likely out of balance or overactive. It's telling you a lot about your perception and your emotional state. So let's go ahead and cut the cords on their end. And you're going to cut the cords on your end. And the way that we cut the cords on our end is we're going to pull them out because these cords actually look more like threads, like roots, tentacles, something of that nature. Go ahead and pull it out, being thorough enough to release from all the organs, from the layers of your bodies, from the parts of your body. And you're going to feel a very strong alleviation when you do this. You're going to inhale your life force back into your body, whatever life force you gave in an imbalanced way. And you're also going to release what you took on that wasn't yours from this exchange, these exchanges. You might notice something about your own emotional state, your own belief systems about yourself. You might notice something about the resonance that brings you and the other uh, in alignment for an experience. As you release these cords from your body, calling back your life force, your body will feel more grounded, more present. Your body will feel more calm, more centered, more clear. Go ahead and grab all those cords. You're going to just send them up to source. Transmuting them into unconditional love out of your space. Okay. Go ahead and notice the emotion that most comes up for you in your body. Be absolutely present with that emotion. And go ahead and name out the emotions that are there inside that emotion. Go ahead and notice the strongest of those three emotions, the first strongest ones. Be absolutely present with the strongest of those three. And as you observe this emotion in your body, go ahead and name out the emotions that emerge from there. Go ahead and tune into the strongest of these three strongest emotions that you acknowledged. Be absolutely present. Allow yourself to name out the emotions in this emotion. Go ahead and notice the strongest of those three. Take yourself back to the very first time that you felt this emotion, the strongest of those three. Go ahead and notice what memory comes up. Notice the emotions that come up. Be absolutely neutral in your observation of them. Feel them in your body, but also observe them from outside. As you observe these memories, these scenarios, just observing the emotional role of whoever is around you, observing where those belief systems come from in them and in yourself. Observing the triggers that were created during this experience. Go ahead and acknowledge those triggers. As you allow yourself to feel deeply into this observation of the emotions that come up, just notice how these emotions have formed your personality, have formed the choices that you make in your life. Notice how it's affected your creation, your desires, how you feel about your desires. And just observe what makes people behave this way as you observe. Just observing the other and just noticing how they came to the conclusion of this behavior, this way of being. You're using your intuition to read into the field, and right now you're really reading your DNA, the information that is holographically available to you through the bioelectrical charges of your emotions. You are reading the memory that is in the field, which is available to you through your emotions. So don't doubt what comes up. Just allow it to emerge. Acknowledge what comes up, what you see, what you hear, what you know. It's in the emotional body that you will, when you acknowledge every emotion that comes up through the emotional body, this is where you're going to access the deepest release, the deepest healing, the deepest alchemy. So don't resist or reject anything that comes up. In fact, let yourself fall into those emotions. Be present with them, observe them in the body. As you acknowledge these emotions, begin to observe, what would you need? What did you need from the other in that moment in order to not feel this way? If you could have anything that you needed in that moment in order to not feel that way, not in a term of avoidance, but in a term of truth. And simply begin to notice, how are you repeating these same programs in your life? How has these core belief systems affected you in your creation, in your manifestation, in your ability to expand, create, heal, do the things that you aspire to do? What is it that you need in order to embody this other state of being? Go ahead and allow yourself to see all the fractals of yourself in your life that have experienced this state of being, this contracted state of being. And I want you to infuse them with this knowledge that you've just acquired today, the wisdom that has been revealed to you in order to alchemize this state of being. As you allow yourself to see all these fractals, you're going to infuse them with this awareness. Watching like a movie of your life at these new potential timelines that can emerge from this new way of seeing and feeling and being. Each one of these versions of yourself that have played out these old patterns, watch them, see what happens when they embody this wisdom. How do they transform? How do they change? How are their choices different? Allow these fractals of yourself to merge into one self in front of you. And You're going to shine your crown light on top of all the karmic contracts that you have accumulated through these experiences. Go ahead and dissolve them. And as you see this transformation, you're going to see them merging into one self in front of you. Go ahead and allow yourself to clear all of these blockages out of your field once more. Go ahead and focus on the root chakra at the base of the spine. You're going to open that root chakra back to a balanced state. The sacral, the solar, the heart. I'm going to shrink it just a little bit. The throat, the third eye. Go ahead and help yourself, bring yourself back into the present. And go ahead and activate your crown. Activate your 9th, your 10th, your 11th, your 12th, your 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. And above you is a powerful white light of source. Go ahead and bring that source down into your body. Anchor down into the center of the earth. Beautiful. Welcome back. You guys did amazing. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It was such an honor to share with you. I hope that this week is really beautiful, productive, healing, and extremely loving for you. And I hope that you integrate these truths deeper. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them on. I can answer any final questions, and then I will let you guys go. So yeah, doesn't look like we have any questions. So thank you so much for your super chats, by the way, in the YouTube. Thank you. I love you so much. It means so much to me. And more Victoria says, firstly, I had an actual noisy commercial leaf blower go for a few minutes outside of my unit, then a vacuum cleaner going in the hallway. Looks like I'm clearing the air for real. It's so funny how those things manifest, and it's completely true, but you're paying attention. So this is good. Thank you. More Victorious. That's beautiful. Darina, thank you so much. Antonio, I'm so happy that you're here. Mark, Zay, yes, definitely let me know if I can support you. Gregory, thank you so much for being here. Sahala, Anna, Elaine. You guys are so fantastic. Julie, great to see you. Art, Emma, Joyous, Peter, great to see you, Peter. Vicky, Sahala, Gregory. You guys have an incredible week, and I will see you soon. All right, love. Bye-bye.